a reference phone, which I should mention about, and even one of these little things, J2ME. And this is a small subset of the phones I have. I have about 70 of them personally for testing. Because there's no real substitute for testing on phones. We've seen an example of the emulator or the simulator for iOS showing some of the problems, which catches the stupid problems, but it doesn't catch all the problems. So one of the things to start with is simply having some phones and using them for our testing. I was at another conference this week called Eurostar, and I was on the program committee, which is why I ended up being there and then coming over to here. And we had a great keynote from someone called Mike Kelly, and he was talking about the value of testers in startup companies. And one of the things he was talking about is testers identify the assumptions that we make as a project in a company. And where the assumptions are correct, no real problem. But if the assumptions were incorrect, we might have some serious problems for our projects. So I assume that your assumption was that it would just kind of work on a mobile device. If you're incorrect, as we see, it looks like a dog's dinner. So as a tester, one of the things I'm trying to do is to probe the assumptions, understand the risks of them, and what the likely downfall would be if the assumption is incorrect in terms of our testing. And we test for those risks. That's the sort of testing I think we're going to be doing in mobile. If you've ever tried to test across even all the iPhone devices, you'll find you've got a pretty tough job. And by the time you've got to the Android devices, where we're in the order of thousands of different devices, it's going to be a bit of a pain. I'm going to encourage you to actually experiment and learn about testing. I tend to talk a lot about automated testing. So TDD, there was a talk just before me in another room about TDD for Android, and quite an impressive demo, how to speed up your development